Copyright disclaimer. Under Title 17 U.S.C. Section 107, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing, nonprofit, educational, or personal use, tips a balance in favor of fair use. Okay, so I found this other article kind of interesting. I've suspected this for a long time. I don't know if the article really went into as much depth as I would like. I've suspected this in general for a long time, and I don't know if all the artists are knowingly involved, but I've suspected it for the longest time that a lot of these pop stars, their venues are used to help with the child, you know what, ing. And you can also see too in a lot of the symbolism that they use in their shows. As I said, some of the artists are knowingly doing it, and some of the artists don't have any idea. And they would not want to be involved if they knew what was happening. So I'm going to read the article regardless. Hold on, I pulled up the wrong article. Okay. Michael Jackson suspected of running child sex trafficking racket. News reports claim. And yes, I know it could be a setup by the Illuminats, but I tend to believe this. Details of the high-level investigations on MJ's alleged interest in young boys are revealed in a new biography by author Dylan Howard. Article by Mark Jeffries, dated 10 July 2020. The FBI suspected Michael Jackson was running a child trafficking racket and investigated complaints the singer had smuggled a child abuse victim across the U.S., which I think they mean across the country lines, the border. According to the files uncovered in a new book, the singer told anyone who asked about the identity of the 12-year-old boy that he was a cousin. I wish they'd give a little more information here. FBI suspicions about the singer's unhealthy interest in young boys began in 1993 as LAPD probed allegations that Jackson had abused 13-year-old Jordan Chandler. There's a lot more abuse victims, you guys. A lot more. West Coast cops asked the FBI to join forces, and the feds began to probe other allegations. One line of inquiry led them to the UK, an allegation that Jackson had instigated phone blank with a 13-year-old British boy in 1979. I believe that. He really liked calling the boys on the phone because sometimes they'd be at home and he'd be doing his shows or whatever. Terry George, a DJ, claimed that he met the singer in Leeds when he was a fan, and the two kept in touch. See, right there, that's like boundary crossing all over the place. George, 28, and a DJ at the time, well, they're not showing that he was a child when this happened. I'm not sure. Maybe it was when he was a child, but them stating that he was 28 is a bit confusing. Maybe that he's telling the story when he's a little older. George, 28, and a DJ at the time, made the allegations, claimed the singer called him, described graphic blank practices, and encouraged him to do the same. I've heard that story over and over. Well, similar anyways. And didn't they basically, isn't the ranch all destroyed now? I don't know. I have to go and look into that. They love to do that to hide the evidence. Details of the high-level investigations are revealed in a new biography by author Dylan Howard. I also sit and think, and I'm like, the higher-ups have given their, what do you call it, like their approval of that book. So I don't know. In his investigation into the singer, Howard uncovered federal files which show that LAPD suspected Jackson had violated the Slave Traffic Act, designed to stop the transportation of adults or kids for PR prostitution, debauchery, or any other immoral purpose. Keep that one in mind, you guys. Slave Traffic Act. As he delved deeper, Howard discovered the hefty accusations were not entirely unwarranted as, according to more secret FBI files a year before, the Chandler allegations, a Canadian couple told authorities they suspected the singer had smuggled a child abuse victim across America by train. The couple both worked in child services. So people were sounding the alarm. And because of his power and his money, nothing was done. They told investigators that Jackson was very possessive of the boy at night and that they heard questionable noises during the journey. So he was on the train, I guess? When they asked, they were told the boy was a cousin. Incredibly, the situation was never fully investigated, says Howard. Jackson's MO of identifying young child companions as relatives rings true. Several years later, in 1996, on his honeymoon with Debbie Rowe, he spent lots of times with a new special friend. And I'm not even going to get into the whole brotherhood and cults and all that stuff. It probably does have a lot to do with things. The 8-year-old was called Anthony, and Michael claimed he was a nephew, if anyone asked. I was reading the other article earlier, and someone had mentioned that when Michael was grooming, so the one boy that was talking, the man that was talking about his experience as a child, or maybe, sorry. It was the boy explaining his experience that Michael was saying, oh, my cousin did this, and he liked it, blah, blah, blah. And Michael was using that as a grooming tactic. So the stories are all kind of lining up, which is interesting. Revelation uncovered in Bad raised fresh questions about the singer and his relationship with the many young children he traveled with. Chillingly, Howard uncovers rumors of historic patterns of abuse going back decades. One insider told the author he started far earlier than people think. His abuses go back more than 30 years and may involve thousands of victims. This is another reason I have absolutely zero use for Katherine Jackson. Zero. Not to mention her husband was doing the same things to Rebe and LaToya. I don't know about Janet, but I would probably venture to say probably. I don't know. The claims have been mirrored by Vince Finaldi, attorney for Finding Neverland victim Wade Robson. Oh, and regarding the abuse with Joe Jackson, it is alleged, but I know LaToya has spoken publicly about it, so. The lawyer accuses Jackson of operating the most sophisticated child abuse procurement and facilitation operation the world has ever known. He might also be a fall guy here, but I would not be surprised. All the children around him all the time, perfect cover. And Howard reveals that there may be even darker secrets to be exposed. Jackson's longtime associate, jailbird Private Eye Anthony Pelicano, who worked for the Star until the mid-2000s, recently made a confession. In an interview, he revealed, "I quit because I found out some truths. He, Jackson, did something far worse to young boys than molest them. I think I know what it is." Does Moloch ring a bell with you guys? But the PI has refused to go into further detail, because he's afraid. So we may never know the truth about the depravity of the Star. I remember when I was doing a lot of research, there were a lot of allegations of Jackson sacrificing cows and things like that. So anyways, I would have liked a little more detailed information, but it gives you the gist, and it's interesting how all the stories are lining up together. They're all like very similar. So everyone have a good day, good night, wherever you are. I'll put a link in the description box. If you would like, please subscribe and hit the like button. I would appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye.